government and the
okay,
chief
forget
minister,
about the
so
government.
let me
What
complete.
is what
No,
is
please.
TMC as a political party? What is its position as far as the police action is concerned? What is its position as far as what Mr. Banerjee said today, that the police should have shot people in the forehead? As a political party, what is their position?
He did not say the police should have shot. He said, had I been in your place, I could not have controlled myself and I would have shot him in the forehead.
Okay, so
He
what is
did
the
not say
difference?
that I am the
It's
police.
the same thing.
There
What
a
is the difference?
No.
He's
The
saying the same
police-
thing, isn't he?
Let me complete, Zaka. Let me
Okay,
complete.
go ahead.
Instructing the police to shoot someone under the government's directive is one thing, and another thing, as a layman, we or Mr. Banerjee himself does not have the police training. He is not part of the police force. He is not bound by the law of the land either. As a layman,
You
we
know,
say many a thing in a private
I'll give you an
conversation.
equivalent, and GVL is on the broadcast. I'll go to Jaideep after this. I'll give you it's like saying, you know, Mr. Nadda is the party president of the BJP. Mr. Nadda is not part of the government. He doesn't speak for the government, but Mr. Nadda comes out and says, I should have shot the farmers in the forehead. Right? I mean, the whole world would have jumped on that. The entire country would have jumped on a statement like that. That's the equivalent of what you're saying, that Mr. Banerjee has nothing to do with your government. It's not a position of the government. This is his individual opinion. Individual opinions matter. Individual opinions matter when that individual happens to be the second most important person in your party.
That was part of the private conversation. I'm repeating it.
Which he revealed in a soundbite to reporters. He revealed it to the public.
Said that I said this to the officer who was grievously hurt.
Jaideep wanted to make a point. Jaideep. No, again, I come back to this. I mean, for the party of Singur and the party of Nandigram for the General Secretary of that party to say this, I don't know. It just shows the gamut or how far TMC has travelled. Jaideep, yeah. Thank you.
Good evening to you, all the panelists and your viewers. Now, there are two aspects to this. Just give me 1 minute and I'll make it clear. What Abhishek Banerjee said was, revealed a deep-seated political hatred for the BJP, which manifests itself in, killings of scores of BJP workers over the years. Thousands have been driven out of their homes, attacked, etc. And the second point, I want to ask the Trinamool spokesperson and the other panelists, would Abhishek Banerjee have dared to say the same thing about those who burnt Kaliachok police station in January 2016 and torched and damaged and burnt a number of government vehicles, including police vehicles and BSF vehicles? Would Abhishek Banerjee have dared to say the same thing about anti-CAA protesters who damaged railway property, who attacked running trains, and created terror amongst passengers? Would Abhishek Banerjee have dared to say it? No, he would not have. Do not interrupt me. I never interrupted.
Anirban, give him 30 seconds. I'll come back to you for a response, but let him finish. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Jaideep.
So my point is, the first point, I'll elaborate on that. This is a manifestation of the very deep-seated hatred that the Trinamool harbors for the BJP, for a political opposition. Just not the BJP, also the Congress and the CPM. They have also been at the receiving end of the Trinamool's hooliganism and barbaric behavior, not just by the Trinamool, but also by the police. So, and on top of this, it is not just Abhishek Banerjee who said it. Mamata Banerjee also said something very similar at an administrative meeting the day all this happened, or the day after that. She had said the police exercised restraint. They could have shot the rallyists. She said this. She's on record having said this. So that means she's actually encouraging her party supporters and her party cadres, her party goons, to actually go and shoot the opposition.
Okay, Anirban respond, and then I'll go to Som Mandal after that. Yeah.
See, half-truths and farragos are actually more dangerous than complete lies, because it's very difficult to differentiate between the two at times, and that is exactly what Mr. Mazumdar has resorted to here. Anyway, I personally think that a party that officially supports gang rapists and child murderers and hails them as heroes, they have no moral right whatsoever questioning anybody else on anything. This is a fact. The BJP officially supports gang rapists and mass murderers. And here they are pointing fingers at somebody else based on half-truths and faragos and complete lies.
Anirban, nobody is justifying the remission that was given to Bilkis Banu's
BJP has,
convicts. No one is
BJP
justifying
has.
that. But
It's
the
the
point
BJP
is, no, the
government that has
point
done
is,
this.
the point is, one wrong does not justify another. I mean, let's be very
That's
clear
right.
about this. What happened on the streets of Kolkata were excesses. I have not seen, and I've been a journalist for the last 20 years, I have not seen policemen throw stones. I've seen protesters throw stones. I've seen stone pelters throw stones. But policemen throwing stones, I have not seen that. And again, by no stretch of the imagination am I brooking, the DCP whose arm got fractured. That's again unacceptable. But to say that opposition parties cannot protest and they'll be stopped 20 kilometers away from the seat of power. Come on, that's not a democracy. That's not democratic principle.
There's a difference between political protest and vandalism. What we witnessed yesterday was vandalism.
Okay, Som Mandal is also joining us. Som Mandal. Again, the question that's being asked, I've heard, BJP leaders and spokespersons say that this whole thing was orchestrated by the TMC. If that were the case, then they should put that out in the public domain. They should go to court saying that, look, this whole thing has been done to tarnish our image. They should put it out in the public domain that these are the TMC goons dressed up in BJP colors who did this in order to ensure that protest, the Nabanno Chalo Abhiyan, ended up in failure. That is how, a political fight has to be fought on the streets. It has to be fought in the public domain. Som Mandal.
Yeah, Zaka, I agree with you. If you remember what I said last time, is that there is actually no rule of law in Bengal. And what Abhishek Banerjee said was a follow-up to that, if the party does not, or the government in Bengal does not follow the rule of law, the party men will also not follow the rule of law. And as such, he made a very irresponsible statement for which actually there can be some cases for inciting public and all. Although he was directing his statement towards the police and giving his personal view, as some of the speakers mentioned today. But I think what you said about whether the BJP should take out the cases, as I mentioned last time, it is a case where BJP, rather than BJP, it is an independent inquiry that is required. And I think whether it is BJP or TMC, everybody will be pointing fingers at each other. Okay. And the truth will only come out if there is a proper sit constituted by the High Court in the investigation or the case that is being pursued before the Calcutta High Court, and the Calcutta High Court properly institutes a sit and where an inquiry is made, a proper investigation into actually who is the culprit.
Does it
who has
worry
taught
you,
the
Som Mandal,
police,
as a resident of Kolkata? We've had the post-poll violence cases. Again, the state said, oh, these were minor skirmishes. The TMC was not in power. The Election Commission was still in charge of law and order. And then look at what the High Court said. We've seen that in the Birbhum case. Again, the High Court had to intervene. Numerous cases where the courts have had to intervene when the state said that all was hunky-dory or things were not as bad as the media made it out to be.
Yeah, as I said earlier as well, that in Bengal, because of lack of rule of law, I mean, what does the citizen and people of Bengal do? They have to rely upon courts to sort of look at what the government is doing. Okay. Unfortunately, that is what the state of affairs in Bengal today is, that the court has to intervene in running the government. If the government is not responsible and looking after the citizen of the Bengal, then who else but the court, the people of Bengal has to look upon the court to give the right judgment.
It's not just